Alright, cool.
So it's been a while for Shane and Shaun shoot the shit. This must be episode 6, roughly.
7,
7.
maybe. I don't know.
Oh, well, we can do an intro for each. So this is either episode 6 or 7. You can make up your mind and work it out.
Or 7 or 6, yeah.
It's just another episode.
100%, yeah.
So a lot's changed since we were last. Oh, we're going to have those motorbike sounds, aren't we, out here? But who cares?
Who cares, yeah. We're doing it live in King Lake, Victoria, in the home of BSX, in the middle of the track. So
You'd think it was a home of Harley Davidson, the way that people cruise up and down the street.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Those bumpkins.
They love a bike.
Those hill people. Yeah, the hills have eyes.
So a lot's changed since the last episode where we sneakily jumped into the bike room and had a bit of a chat. So borders have even opened up.
Yeah.
We can start planning our next bike ride interstate and our next race. And so it's been a while. Both of us have copped it hard from COVID and got a little bit of trimmage to make over the next couple of months.
I've got my COVID ballast. That's what I'm calling it, COVID ballast.
I've been calling this my Cove Fro. So I'm too scared to cut it off now. I've grown quite accustomed to it.
You still look like a university lecturer. I still think like you should have a tweed jacket with leather arm pads, man.
I should grow a beard.
Yeah, I'm trying to not. So slack. But anyway, yeah, no, 100%. It's good to see they've put out the 2021 program for the National Series, the Victorian State Series.
I think the Victorian calendar's just about due out too, so
Yep.
we'll have a bit of racing we can start planning ahead for and get some road trips in and hang out and have some fun.
Looking forward to it. I know the other guys on the team are definitely, and I guess our pseudo Kiwi Paul Knox is looking forward to our road trips, and I reckon we'll be able to drag Gary on a few too because he's hanging. He always tells me when I ring him, he's just chomping at the bit to go on another red bus road trip. So
Which was funny because towards the end of last year he sounded a bit tired from all the road trips. Now he's hanging out.
He's got to listen to us in the van for like 8 hours, just and
I'm sure he turns his hearing aids off when he jumps in the van.
And it's all that, stopping at things, getting chocolate milk for you and Red Bulls for me and whatever else, and then it's always good. So that's getting back to what are they calling a COVID normal, and dealing and just pushing through. I think that's the best thing for 2021 is we all just need to get back and do the things that make us smile and not think about the down times we've had this year, and I guess get back to BMX, being back with our friends and family, and just having a good time, and hopefully we can all get back to where we were before all this sort of shut us all down, worldwide.
So I've been looking at the race calendar and kind of earmarked Shepparton, which we have a double-header state race there at the end of February, I think. It's potentially my first race back. I might do a round or two of track attack. Just to have a bit of fun, not get too serious, and just to see where my legs are at after a whole lot of time at this track and not doing very much pedaling at all. No training, just enjoying being on the bike again and just hanging out with mates, swinging shovels, tossing a bit of dirt around and having a bit of fun.
You're looking good on the bike, I must say. I'm not biased or anything, but you're actually looking really smooth, and you're looking definitely good on the bike. So
I think it helps that you only get 2 pedals. Once I get 3 or 4, you'd see me collapse over the handlebars.
Nah, I think but you're definitely looking a lot better than even pre-COVID. I reckon you're jumping so much better now than you were. But anyway, let's not make it all about you.
Oh no, let's
let's make it all about you.
I mean, it's all I've had to do really. Haven't had to travel much with work, so I've spent a lot of time in the backyard, and it's kind of been a bit difficult with not having a lot of visitors. So to chew up a lot of my time, I've been doing quite a bit of shovel work here, so that when you guys could show up, there was a lot less work to do and more riding, which was always my favourite part of hanging out with everyone.
Yeah, 100%. And it's been good to be able to come up here now, and like you say, the little help that we can do goes a long way. But even for me, I guess I was surprised with the restrictions that we were still able to ride my local track in a recreational stage. So I still got to at least ride a BMX track a little bit, but I think just the whole pressure and, and missing friends, I think it's so important to, and this is what makes BMX so great, is the times you spend with your friends and your family, whether your kids ride or your siblings. It's just so good. I think that's what makes it a...
It's funny, when you say that you could only ride your home track in a recreational
manner.
I think we need to force a lot of people to ride recreationally. There's only so many gates you can do. There's only so many track sessions and club races before it starts getting a bit monotonous. And I think we need to mix that up a little bit and just say, hey guys, just go out and enjoy riding your bike a bit more.
Yeah, just sit on a jump, and like I sit there with a few guys from my local, Adam and Zach, and we'll sit on the third straight and we'll do the second straight and do the third straight and the fourth straight, and we'll all take turns and try different lines, but it's really chilled. We'll talk crap, egg each other on, and just it's so chilled. There's no pressure, and actually really secretly is actually making you a better rider because there's no pressure. You're actually you kind of are doing sprints and you're actually practicing skills, but in a really relaxed manner, and you're not aware that you're actually doing it, but you're actually making yourself a better rider because you're riding. Without that, I need to do 20 gates and then I have to go home and then do 15 plyos and take a protein shake and a recovery shake and ring my coach.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people that could benefit from doing that sort of thing, but
100%.
I just want to enjoy my racing, so I'm going to spend more time here doing jumps and out the track, counting pedals and seeing how many cranks I can fit in between jumps and how many extra cranks I can get around a corner or whatever. We've both been in the sport for a long time and done that and been there, and just want to sort of pick the best parts of BMX. I mean, I could find better friends, obviously.
True that. This is part of my prison release program. He's sponsoring me, but I think too is racing, and I've said this for a few years now, and I'm not too sure. Someone told me this, and racing is about this much of the whole sport of BMX. And yet, if you don't race, you can still enjoy the sport in so many different ways, even if you just have a bike and come and ride places like this, or even
just riding up the street with mates. Like back in the 80s, there weren't a lot of different types of bikes. Mountain bikes were still new. Almost every single kid had a BMX bike, and you'd catch up with your mates, and you'd get half a dozen riders if you're only out in the country. I'm sure it was more if you're in the city, just going off for rides and doing different things and seeing different things, and just enjoying people's company and enjoying being on the bike.
Different times.
Very different, wasn't it?
I mean, my race bike was my everything bike. I did that. I rode up the street. I pretended to know how to street ride. We used to dig trails, I guess, jumps in the bush or in a secluded thing, so you could just sort of be left alone and jump big jumps. You raced it, you went to gates, and it was the only bike I had. And it was just, that's what you did. You just spent so much time on your bike. But now, obviously, we're adults and we have to work and pay bills. But yeah, you're right. I think it's the small things that matter, and that's what I find. And coming here and getting my jump back on that's one thing I've missed, especially during COVID. There's not a great deal I can jump at my home track. So when I come here, it helps me build up that skill matrix again. Geez, that sounds like I'm talking about work, skill matrix. Spending too much time with HR, because just the skills matrix. But yeah, it's just fun, and once I get my groove back here, I know it's always fun. It always takes me a couple of times, as you know, but it's always fun coming here.
Yeah. So, what do you reckon will be your first race back?
I might try one of the rounds of track attack, but I definitely, for me, my work is pretty crazy at the moment with COVID stuff and my role at the moment. But I think Shepparton would be another good. I always love riding Shep, and what happened last time I rode there. The whole crazy heat stroke / massive dehydration, so I didn't get to actually enjoy myself last time I was there.
Well, going there in February, we're likely to face warm weather again. What will you do differently? A bit more water leading into the event?
Yeah, that's the advice the doctor gave me in the emergency part. He just said, yeah, look, or she actually said basically, and Oh, the doctor's name was actually Shaun too. I remember that. But yeah, to hydrate at least three days prior to the event, and also just hydrolyte. Because I think I was drinking mainly water, and then I think I was having every now and again I was having a hydrolyte thing, and the doctor said you need to be doing it every single drink. But I learned my lesson, and I think it's made me really cautious of riding in extreme hot weather. So if I don't feel right about it, I think I'll probably just pull the pin and just because even after it felt like I was hungover for a week. It was.
You actually had to take time off work.
I did. Yeah. I was pretty ill. Yeah, it was, and then had to saddle up and drive to Bathurst with you guys, and even there, I don't think I was really 100% either. Just felt a little bit off. So yeah, but
especially in the jaw, with all that chin wagging on the way up.
I didn't talk that much. I don't reckon I did. I don't reckon I talked that much on the way up.
Okay, I'll let you think that.
Gary did all the talking.
He does like to talk too.
He does. Yeah, he tells us good prison stories. He does. No, Gary's always good value, and I just love hearing all the. And it's with Paul too. I like just hearing the background stuff of industry, and because they have a lot to do with all the movers and shakers and the owners of brands that we recognise, and the history of how they designed a frame and how they came up with that, and the names, and just them going to trade shows over the years. It's just the stories are awesome, and it's kind of I have a little bit of envy, but because I love BMX so much, and same as you. And just to hear those stories and, sort of rubbing shoulders with some of the industry greats would be awesome, and Gary's always got cool stories, especially about John Sawyer and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it'd be cool to meet some of them. Hopefully maybe I'm saving to go to the States next year, the Grands. I'm saving my little pennies. So hopefully that might be a go, because I turn 50 next year, so it's a little present to myself, but if like Bruce Morris says, you got to get over there at least once. So
our national, it was announced this week. Our nationals are in Western Australia. It's quite a bit of cost to go all the way to Western Australia from Victoria. I'm sure the Western Australians know all about it. They probably do it just about every other year.
They do. They do it hard, those guys. And it's the most. What is it? The most remote or isolated city in the world or something, Perth?
You'd probably be right too.
Yeah, it's the furthest from everything.
Unfortunate thing is the same weekend the Grands are on, and so you're going to get a lot of East Coast Australians thinking, do I go to California, get a cheap flight, or do I go over to Western Australia and pay almost half the price for a national championship? So it's actually going to be a very difficult decision for a lot of Australians to work out, do I want nationals, do I want Grands? But the cost difference is almost, makes it worthwhile considering travelling that little bit further and doing something that little bit different.
Yeah, and I guess it's, growing up, like reading, magazines and stuff, and just seeing that hotbed of BMX in America, that's where it came from. And, I watch the live feed every single year, and I always say to myself, I really need to go over there. And so I'm making a conscious effort now to actually save and really try and get over there. If it happens, it happens. If I don't, well, at least I kind of tried. But even to just see, the pit thing and go and talk to guys like Bill Ryan, or, go and visit the US profile team and, various other things, John, just
I can imagine you running around trying to collect some jerseys as well.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there'd be something like that going on for sure, and and just getting selfies and all that sort of stuff, and then just locking stuff inside your head and just having those memories and those good times, and maybe it might not be so much about racing. I'll obviously race, but the whole experience, and a lot of people that I know that have gone, they say, man, you need to go for sure, you'll love it. So you only live once, you only get one lap on the planet, so here's to maybe going to the Grands, and hopefully the world is in a better place, and we can travel a bit better. But look, I'm just happy we can travel in Australia and start racing.
Yeah, so we were looking at the calendar a little bit earlier. National Series race kicks off in May in Sydney, and we had a good time in Sydney last year. So,
We did.
Last year? Yeah, last
Yeah,
year.
last year, yeah.
Just seems like forever ago. Had a great time in Sydney last year, and we've noticed the dirt jumps in Red Hill, which we hadn't seen before. A lot of the locals up there were riding those during COVID, so I reckon we'll end up extending our little weekend away to Sydney for a bit of a ride session there, and hopefully Bear Creek, which every time we look at those videos it gets bigger and bigger, so I'm a bit worried about this old guy trying to throw himself over some of those big jumps, but it'll be worth just a road trip to have a look.
Have a look. And is it at the same track at Olympic Park?
Yeah, so it's
Sydney City. Homebush, yeah. Yeah, it's a nice setup there, like, the surrounds with the Sydney.
Car park's amazing. Like,
how big is it? It's
the biggest car park for a BMX track I've ever seen.
Yeah, so. Yeah, you could roll up factory rigs and semi trailers and it's all smooth and the roads are beautiful and all the landscaping's.
But then the track's really compacted into a very small, tight spot.
Yeah, and there was even rumour that they were going to build a Red Bull pump track there. I did hear that rumour.
Oh, they were going to try and hold. Yeah. So there's that dual slalom course off to the side of the track. I forgot about that.
Yeah, which was.
They're going to try and get the Red Bull pump track series up there, but Mount Gambier beat them to the punch. So.
Yep. But even that. If you're into mountain bikes, that dual slalom thing next to the actual track looked a lot of fun. Maybe 30 years ago I probably would have had a ride on it myself, but yeah. Nah.
I was happy enough just to stick to the racetrack. There was a bit of a drag strip down that first straight.
The first straight, the gate was good. The first straight, and that first corner was
real
massive,
tight, wasn't it?
Massive, and that poor guy that just like high-sided in our first moto. Or was it our first?
No, it wasn't
second
our first moto. So that's I think his name's Neil Stevenson. Niall.
Neil. He was feeling pretty nil.
It's been a while since I've caught up with him. Really nice guy.
Yep.
I think he took the. Yeah, there you go, and Mr. Stevenson.
If you're watching.
I think he took the corners a bit too tight, and I'm pretty sure he clipped the pedal and ended up in hospital for quite a while. And
poor bugger.
Good to see him back on his bike now, though.
Yep, 100%. And yeah, like it was good, I think, and it was funny because the corners got smaller and smaller the further you got around the track, and everything was super deep. But it was a good time when we, like I said, we caught up with Maddie Gyers and. Because she's stationed at Garden Island with the Navy, so yeah, we hadn't seen her for a while. So that was a really good trip, and I remember playing, what was that punk version of Dog Sits on the Tucker Box on the way home because we were so tired, and we're all banging our heads, and people are driving past going, "What are these guys on?" We're
if
tired.
Only they knew.
If only they knew. Yeah, we're tired. We're all washed up BMXers, but yeah, no, it was a good event, and yeah, I just think, it'd be good to go back there and have another crack at the track. Because, I definitely like that front straight. It was good. And, you manual the first few jumps, and you just picked up so much speed.
I really enjoyed watching the pros go at it. And I think Hayden Fletcher took the first round win.
He did, yep. Yeah, he was hauling.
And Kai Sakakibara took the second round from memory.
Yep.
And there were quite a few riders there. So to win... When you're talking about 3 or 4 gates at a national round, wasn't bad.
Yeah, no, they had a few racks for sure, and even the women, and that's poor Gemma.
Oh yes,
yeah, she had her
smashed
crash.
herself up. The thumb.
The thumb and the hand, and she was riding really, really well too. And it was just a misfortunate sort of crash, I guess. It was, she was going really fast and maybe a bit too fast, but I'm glad to see back on the bike and looking good again. But it was a good weekend, and. We stayed in a pretty funny little house and like an apartment at the back there, and went to that crazy restaurant that was like an old sizzler, but it was...
The Lebanese sizzler.
Yeah, I had a parma with eggplant instead of ham. That was ironic, that. But yeah, no, it's going to be good to get back on the road and, have funny stories again about our road trips and tell all you guys out there about them, I guess. So if you're still watching, but like everybody else, we're all just looking forward to hanging out and having some fun and see what happens next year. Just hopefully we can, do what we love and,
So, Shepparton, Sydney.
Yep.
Anything else come to mind that you want to race next year. I mean, you talked about Grands briefly, but there's
Adelaide.
a whole year. Oh, well, yeah, but I don't think the National Series round's been announced in Adelaide yet.
Oh.
So we might have to have a look at their structure for next year and see what event we can pull.
Yeah.
Get over there. I've got flights left over that I got vouchers for Tassie, so I might go back to Tassie for the Wynnum round that they've got for the National Series.
Yep.
I really like going down to Tassie and getting away for a weekend. Not that they have a lot of riders down there, but the riders down there go pretty hard, so they're very competitive guys.
But the thing is too is if even going down there and helping them out, get the numbers up is always a good gesture too. Like they probably struggle to get numbers. So, even if you and a couple of the guys go, that's an extra, say, 2 or 3 other people that are going to go down and support their events, which makes for, rewards all their hard work, because they definitely work hard down there. And I mean, kind of bummed out for Launceston, missing out on the Aussies. And, it's even like my home track of Bendigo, we had the Vic titles penciled in for this year, and obviously with COVID, and so next year, we're not getting them.
So next year's Shepparton again?
Yep. So unfortunately, we missed out, but I think they're going to try and reschedule it. I'm not too sure.
I'm sure what goes around comes around. So Bendigo was prepared to run it. Not a lot of clubs do put their hands up these days for state championships. It's a big event. Puts a lot of strain on the clubs. So fingers crossed Bendigo does get it soon. And I think they deserve it. It's been a long time since they've had it. Track works and the infrastructure they have there seems to be pretty big. They have a lot of club racing, don't they?
They do, and the council was 100% behind it, and that was, I think, part of the reason. I think they probably saw from like councils like Shepparton and stuff like that, seeing that Shepparton invests in their track and clubs a lot, and then people, as they say, build it and they will come. And we've got a really, really good facility now, new club rooms, the 5 metre hill, the track, the 6 surface, the surroundings were starting to get worked on, and then the second wave hit. But apart from that, it's got a lot of potential even to get better. And, the club's has grown exponentially. There's a lot of little kids now, little mini wheelers, and, that's our future. We really need to hang on to that and really nurture that, because us old guys, unfortunately, we're not maybe be around for another 10 to 12 years maybe.
It's funny, isn't it? Like, I think I was 21 and I was being interviewed for a newspaper, just a rural thing, because we had a big race on at Puckapunya, my club at the time.
Yeah. And
they said, how much longer do you think you can keep racing for? And Pat Dillon, I think he was about 7 years older than me, so I said, see that guy over there? He's 28. By the time I reach 28, I reckon I'll probably just about be done. I turned 50 this year.
Yeah, wow. You were right off the money.
Oh, yeah. But at the time, he was probably one of the oldest guys apart from one of the fathers who was racing. He was definitely the oldest pro at the time at 28.
And still killing it.
Yeah, he was doing good, yeah.
Yeah. I used to like racing against Pat. Him and I had a few good battles over the years, and, run-offs in semis and all that sort of stuff. No, he's such a nice guy, and it's good to see him, floating around again in BMX. He sort of comes a lot, and Matty White, one of my friends, pro in Bendigo, and I hang out with him a lot. Him and his dad, and they're really good friends with the Dillons, and they go motorbike riding up there and all that. So I always hear a bit about Pat and his brother and stuff. So good BMX family, a bit like BMX royalty, really.
Oh yeah, they really helped kick off the sport here in Victoria.
100%.
A lot of history there. I tried to get Pat in front of the camera, but he's a bit camera shy apparently, as opposed to a lot of the old school guys that love the camera and love still being involved and love telling their stories.
Yeah. I don't have much of an old school story, but I definitely see he's a very humble man. Loves talking, loves telling stories, and I've seen him lately putting up a lot of his, because he was pretty cool behind the camera too, and he's putting up a lot of old photos of pro racing and stuff like that, and he used to run that dirt, he used to have the old zine, how the old...
They ran that out of PRM. Him and Paul Johnson.
Yeah. So, a lot of cool history, and I think, there was a lot of California influence, I think, in what Pat did. A little bit of motocross, BMX influence, like how they were doing things in SoCal back in the day. So, but it was always, and you read comments, just so many people used to go to PRM. I probably spent a small fortune in there.
Yeah, same. But I remember ringing him up saying, Pat, I need to buy a pair of handlebars. I don't know how it worked. He chucked them on the train. I go and pick them up from the train station.
What?
Yeah, serious.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't
wow.
It wasn't through the post office, and I'm not sure how that worked.
I know this conductor. He's on the V-line train to Albury, but it's going to stop at Pucka or Seymour.
Well, I've never done drugs, so I'm not under the influence or anything. But I do remember going down to the train station and picking up my handlebars.
Wow. He must have known some, like a conductor or something.
I don't know.
On V-line or Vic Rail or whatever it was called back in the day. Here, there's going to be some long-haired kid that's really tall. He's going to be at the Seymour train station that wants these handlebars. And it would have been you.
But I did buy a crap load of stuff through him, and I hardly ever went to the shop. I don't think I did actually go into the shop once.
Oh, really?
Always bought everything mail order. Yeah, well, living in Seymour,
100%.
it's a long way away from Southeastern. And then when we did come down to Melbourne, it was the weekend, and the focus was racing. Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday, and so there was never time to go to a shop.
Yeah. I just remember jumping. When I lived in Werribee, we'd jump on the train, go all the way from Werribee into the city, and then catch the train out to Oakley, get off the train, ride all the way down to PRM at the end of North Road or South Road and Warrigal Road or whatever it was. Centre Road, sorry, yeah. And then go there, buy, and just drool, and then obviously buy whatever everybody was buying, whatever they think. And then we'd go to Macca's, and then we would go to the Southeastern track because it was fenced off. Back then, it was probably one of the only tracks at the time that actually had a big 8-foot fence around it, and then we'd sort of maybe kind of sneakily jump over, hand our bikes over, do a few laps, and absolutely pack ourselves because we thought if we get caught by the police, they're going to take our bikes off us or something, and let our tyres down. We'd have to walk all the way back to the train station. So we'd only game enough to about 10 laps, and then we'd be out of there. But we weren't doing any damage or anything, not like what some people do these days with remote control cars and mini bikes and stuff. So yeah, and it was a massive adventure. And then we'd go into the city sometimes and cause a bit of angst down the Yarra River, trying to pretend that we could street ride and hang monos and stuff, and bloody BMXs. But yeah.
So you guys had it good, really. I couldn't jump on a train and do that. The best I got out of BMX was I would ride about 17 k's to the closest BMX track before school, cut a few laps, ride back, have a shower, go to school. After school, ride 17 k's, go to the track. I was never with anybody else. I might have drag raced a guy on a road bike on the way out. But
he's got more than one personality, so you would have been right.
I could have kept myself occupied.
Exactly. Just talk to yourself. Yeah, I mean, look, I was spoiled. I grew up beside a track, so I was a bit spoiled like that. But I used to do the whole laps before school and laps. Anybody think I should have been world champion with that advantage? But no, I was just having too much fun, and throwing style and showing off a bit to fully focus. And like I said in previous episodes, my parents never really took me, so I just enjoyed BMX as much as I could with what I had, So, but yeah, crazy times. I mean, being in the country back then was like a point of isolation, wasn't it?
Yeah, except there were a lot of good riders that came out of the country. So what we would do is, obviously we had our regional events, and everyone would get together. It was kind of like this upper echelon, not that everyone was elitist or anything, but we would sort of stick around and try to do things. I remember Lee Egan would kind of be a bit of a leader. He'd say, you got to keep going closer and closer to a jump and not pedal as much each time you tried it, to see how strong you were in the legs before you got to a point where you couldn't jump the jump anymore.
Oh, wow.
We were doing all sorts of stuff, and I guess that's how I broke that CW Phase 1 frame in half.
Yeah.
Just didn't give it enough time to get up to speed, and fell a bit short and snapped the poor front end off. But yeah, we're doing lots of stuff, just hanging out, jumping, encouraging each other, and but we have to wait for the weekend to do that sort of thing. It's not like we could do it midweek, and
yeah, I was a bit spoilt like that. Yeah, but that whole thing like that is just, there was so many people used to just feed off each other, and going back to my comment before, like just riding with, say, like Adam and Zach, it's still kind of like that. They're in their 30s, and me being in my late 40s, I can still kind of feed off. I can't ride like them. I mean, they clip in, but it's still, I can still feed off their energy and still learn some stuff and push myself. So,
oh, don't worry, I'm sure they learn stuff from you. They just probably don't want to tell you that.
maybe, yeah, know how to talk a lot, know how to do selfies.
I reckon you'd have to have the best jaw muscles in BMX.
Yeah. Write in the comments below if you think I've got the best jaw muscles in
Flex
BMX.
your jaw muscle. Oh, you have been all show.
Yeah, that's right. Check it out, yeah. But anyway, no, it's, I love this sport, and I love the people in it. So, and I love to try and meet as many people as I can and just hang out and, I guess, try to be a good guy and a good example. I mean, like, it's good to promote our sport in a good way and having fun, and let people out there go, yeah, look at those guys, they're still that age and they're still having so much fun and traveling, and it's possible. And like I said before too, is we get one lap on the planet, so let's just have a good time. It's it's not about trophies. I think sometimes it's about having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to turn up to a race meeting and be competitive.
Oh yeah,
but there's a big difference between being competitive and having fun. Like I've seen a lot of people over the years that just burn out because they're trying too hard.
Yeah.
And they forget the whole reason why they started in the first place.
Mm.
I mean, it's to see a progression. Obviously, you get a bit of a sense of pride in that, and to get faster and faster is great, but you have to sort of marry up your skills with it. And I've noticed a lot of guys come back into our age bracket, their kids get involved or whatever, so they jump on a bike and they think, well, I'm pretty fast at this, but don't realise that all the tracks are different. So they'll be probably fast on one of the more rolly tracks and then come across a technical track and just hit something way too fast, out of control, and hurt themselves, which is sad to see, because you want everyone to enjoy the sport.
Yeah.
But straight away you got someone who's retiring because it's too dangerous for them.
Yeah, or their work says, hey, we can't have you coming in, like with a thing, broken collarbone or an elbow or a wrist, and yeah, that does suck. And because we do have to race on Sunday but must work on Monday, sort of thing. I mean, yeah, look, my work's, touch wood, has been really cool about it. If I've got annual leave or whatever, they say, yeah, look, if you want to go away for your riding, yeah, no problem. They support me, which is really cool.
I've never had someone pull me up and say, hey, maybe you should consider something a bit safer, like lawn bowls. I've been really lucky that way, but I did have a manager once saying, gee, that BMX is a pretty dangerous sport, isn't it? But they didn't say, why don't you stop or anything like that, so that was a good thing.
You got good hands for lawn bowls, though.
I have. Probably even better for 10 pin.
Yeah, maybe. They'd have to re-drill the holes, though. But
for my Sivlaki fingers.
Sivlaki fingers, but he's got his fingers are like Sivlakis. But I mean, look, lawn bowls, if you're going to use that as an example, you're out in the sun all day, you can get skin cancer.
Oh, yeah.
All that sort of crazy. Like my pop used to play lawn bowls religiously, and yeah, he had to get stuff cut out of him and stuff because he was in the bloody sun all day, and he'd be red like a beetroot. And
Do you get lawn bowl elbow?
I guess, and probably lawn bowl knee.
Like grass stains.
No, you probably get, because how they have the little carpet mat, you probably get a little bit of carpet burn.
Oh yeah, bit carpet burn.
Bit of carpet burn. Yeah. Anyway, come on, mate. Maybe we will end up playing lawn bowls, but
we might.
As long as I can stick a Supercross and a profile sticker on it, I don't care.
Well, I guess we've been talking for way too long. It must be about half an hour now.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, cool.
So what do you reckon? We call it quits?
I think we'll call it quits, and hopefully people will watch it. And yeah, when I put it on YouTube, leave some comments, subscribe, all that sort of cool stuff. And yeah, we appreciate your support out there. We really do. Like I said, I got that number plate from Steve, and Craig Fisher said some pretty cool comments. And thanks for your support, guys. We'll keep doing it as long as you guys love it. We love doing it.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit tough for me right now to find time, so it won't be every second week like we started off.
Yeah, no, and we don't want to sort of sound like we're struggling to talk about stuff. And I guess
although we always are,
we are.
Because you can see that Shaun's clearly struggling right now. What was it your mum said? You could make friends with a bucket of paint?
No, yeah, Mum said I could make a friend with a tin of paint. So I should have worked in a paint shop. I would have had so many friends.
But they would have all left you.
They would have been...
So you'd have to make friends over and over
Buy
again.
me! I need to get out of here. He talks too much.
All the tins with their ears bleeding.
Yeah, anyway, yeah.
Talk about ears bleeding. We should go.
We should go. Yeah, cool. All right, peace out. Thank you for listening and watching and all that other stuff. Thank you, Shane.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, bye.
Cheers.